Welcome back. Well, today I am joined by Dan Daly and Sunshine Lute, who are here on behalf of the Fit Brain Club. Well, thank you both for joining me today.
Well, thank you for the invitation. Very nice to be here.
It's so nice to be here and see you, Lisa.
Oh, well, you're welcome. And you guys are doing such great work out there. I'm glad you've still been active and you've made it work for everybody, even though people can't get together. But things are looking better. It looks like we might be able to get together hopefully here in June. So cross our fingers.
Oh, absolutely. Well, any news right now that's showing any kind of improvement is all good news.
Exactly. So Dan, we're going to start off with you, and you guys have a big Fit Brain meeting coming up. Tell me about it.
Yes, the guest speaker will be a very well-known speaker. He's been at our meetings a number of times. He's very familiar with all the residents within Laguna Woods Village, and that's Dr. Dung Trin. And very, very knowledgeable researcher on top of that. And but he's going to focus on basically an update on COVID. And starting off with, most likely he'll make reference to the national scene before Orange County. And on the national scene, 42% of the population has been fully vaccinated. However, in order to reach herd immunity, you have to achieve 70%.
Mm-hmm.
So we got a little ways to go yet. When you consider the fact that probably 23% of the general population, they don't believe in vaccines anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So we got a little bit of a reach there. I can tell you, the residents of Laguna Woods Village, 50% were fully vaccinated 2 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
So within that confine, you're going to reach herd immunity rather soon.
Yeah.
So it'll be sooner rather than later. In Orange County, that percentage now is 33%, and that's fully vaccinated. So when you consider the fact that you have two vaccinations or two vaccines to be fully vaccinated, there is a time element here that has to be considered.
Right.
On the improvement note, back in January, there were approximately 2,400 hospitalizations due to COVID-19.
Mm-hmm.
Last month, it was down to 110.
Right.
So that's pretty dramatic improvements there. So people are really following the guidelines, and not only CDC, but also their primary care providers. On a positive note, those 16 years and older, now they are fully eligible to be vaccinated, which is a great sign. And probably the best bellwether of all is the fact that Disneyland reopened last Friday. So you can't get any better news than that, right?
Yes, everyone was very excited to see that. And it's just one more thing to make us see the light at the end of the tunnel. I think most also important is to take a look at the flattening of the curve. I mean, obviously you mentioned that earlier, Dan, and that's really one of the things that they've achieved. Now, getting to the villagers, I mean, the vaccinations were extraordinarily done here in the village, getting pretty much, I'd say over 9,000 people were vaccinated here in the village. And then the remainder of those that wanted to were given that opportunity here in the village. And it makes up such a huge amount of residents in the city of Laguna Woods as a whole.
Sure.
There was a percentage thrown out that we're at 74% of vaccinated people in the city of Laguna Woods. So that's an extraordinary number.
Wow. Well, you already heard immunity right then and there.
Yep. So thank goodness that everybody, like you said, heeded the advice of the CDC. We were able to get the vaccinations taken care of here in our city. And it's great. But you wish that the governor would say, oh, you know what? Hey, city of Laguna Woods, you can open up.
Well, unfortunately, there's still a lot of fear and confusion out there. For an
Yeah.
example, I think it was just last week, the CDC made the announcement on their website that fully vaccinated people can gather in small groups without using masks.
Mm.
So conversely, you see the President of the United States making an address in front of about 150 people, everybody, including him, they're wearing a mask, and you know they've all been vaccinated.
Mm.
So that's where the confusion lies. And a lot of it is basic common sense,
Mhm.
you know, but unfortunately, when you get the media involved in anything at all, it's politicized,
Yeah.
and then they break it down by groups, and that creates way too much fear, especially with senior citizens.
Yeah, and I'm sure there is some confusion as well, like you mentioned. You know, when you talk about the folks that you're helping, those with Alzheimer's, you know, that's an added risk for them, right, Sunshine?
Oh,
Yes,
sure.
it surely is.
Yeah. And so I guess the thing is that when you have those folks who are compromised like that, you know, fear is the last thing you want.
Right. So our meetings are always the second Monday of the month at 10 o'clock. And of course, right now they are all Zoom meetings. So if you don't have internet, you're just going to have to wait till the clubhouse is open again, and hopefully that will be soon. But if you do have internet, well, then we have a wonderful website called FitBrain, and it's all one word there, fitbrain.us. And if you go there, the very first screen you're going to see, the third line down is underlined. It says Club Meetings. And you click on that, and all of our meetings are out there. The latest is on top. And so there are two underlined things immediately. One is the flyer, and one is registration for the meeting. Now you have to register, because if you don't, how are we going to have the email to send you an invitation to the meeting?
Exactly.
So there's many other things on this website, but probably the most important for the Fit Brain Club is the one I just told you about.
Okay, perfect.
You
Perfect.
know, if I could interject at this time, we are going to make the registration form a lot more convenient and a lot easier to use,
Okay.
especially for those returning. So we're in the process of modifying it to make it a lot easier to use.
That's wonderful, because right now you have to fill out your name and
Right.
your address and all that stuff. And then you come back for the next meeting and you got to do it all over again. So thank you, Dan.
Oh, yeah,
You're
that's
welcome.
good. You know, trying to make these websites work sometimes is a process. So let's just reiterate the meeting, that the big meeting with Dr. Trin is going to be on May 10th, and it's a Zoom meeting. What time was it going to be at?
10 o'clock.
At 10 a.m. Okay, great, great. And then they can obviously register, and they'll get the link. Now, Dr. Trin, you said, is going to be talking mostly about COVID-19 and getting an update. Do you think, I mean, he always has such great ideas. Do you think he's going to have some additional things for everybody to use that will be useful?
Oh, I'm sure he will. I mean, he's a very creative guy, and he's very, very informative. The real advantage of having someone like Dr. Trin involved in something that can be very complicated like COVID-19, he really breaks it down to the layman's terms.
Mm.
So it's much more readily understood by the attendees. So I'm sure he'll have some ideas as to making life easier for everybody.
Yeah.
And he'll have a session, you know, he keeps saying, do you have any questions? I want to
Yeah.
make sure you got this. And so there's opportunities for people to really communicate with him.
That's great. Yeah, I would agree with you wholeheartedly. He's very informative, always has great ideas and good information. He really gets it. You know, he's really in with a lot of different groups and organizations to get that information to the people. So excellent. I'm glad you guys are using him for your next FitBrain meeting. Great job.
Good. Well, we're looking forward to it. We're looking forward to a good turnout.
Oh,
All
one
right.
thing I forgot to mention is we usually record the meetings, and if I get the recording, I put it out there on the website. So even if they missed the meeting, they can watch it later.
Oh, that's good. That's great. All right, you two. Thank you so much.
All right, Lisa, thank you again for your hospitality and for inviting us on.
You got it. We'll talk to you again.
Okay, bye-bye. Bye, sunshine.
Bye.
And we'll be right back.